Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hello, everybody. Let me just get the lights actually turned on here. That would be a good idea. Should we turn this light on? There we go. That's better. Now we can actually see stuff. Revenge of the Fifth, baby! Yep. Yep. Thank you. I felt like a new special overlay was necessary. Was necessary, but yes, space. That's what we're doing. We're doing space. Hello, Val. Hello, Sahana. Hello, Cypher. Welcome. Smolecule, Martimus, Smokebeard. Hello, Enzo. Hi, V Squared. Enjoy the lurk. Hope the buds are successful in their building. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to this Friday stream, which I was not planning on doing until earlier this morning when all of this stuff arrived. Yes, let's talk about this. It's hashtag sponsored stream time. I am indeed fortunate enough to get to work with Atomic Mass Games on this. They sent me all of this wonderful Shatterpoint stuff, which is, the boxes are so tall, they're right up against the camera, so you can barely see what's in here. Hash Brown sponsored, indeed. As a result of this being an actual partnership sponsorship thing, that in the link right there is my personal link to go and find information about Star Wars Shatterpoint if this is something that interests you. That genuinely does help me if you follow that, because it tracks engagement through that, and that's what matters. We want engagement. We want to people to come and discover about this cool product so that they want to work with me again in future. I talked about this a little bit in the Discord. I understand that being a miniatures based game, those can be a little expensive for people, so not everyone's going to be into that. Not everyone's going to be able to budget for that, and that's okay. I will never push anyone to do anything outside of their financial ability. But fun fact is, they're not tracking purchases for me. They're tracking engagement through that link. So everyone can help by going and checking that out. So they want to work with me more. There will be more content coming over the coming months. We have some plans that I've talked about with AMG. That will be more kind of cemented later on. And hash browns are delicious and everyone should want them. So I will say there is going to be no music on this stream. The reason being is I usually use licensed game music for the background music because I can get away with it. But given that this is, I'm doing this to showcase this particular product, I don't want to wind up in a weird situation regarding mixing of licenses. So no music, but that's okay because you can just listen to me babble on endlessly and incessantly. We are also... Oh, I forgot to turn this on, actually. Hold on. I moved it out of the way to check. Oh, that didn't look good. Oh, it's using the wrong one. Never mind. I fucked it. Oh wait, I see what I've done. I think I see what I've done. Hold on, let me fix it. There we go. That's better. It kind of cuts off my my thing, but just imagine it's the scroll. We are still fundraising for St. Jude. That is still relevant tonight. I didn't turn back on the voice mod one. Actually, I did it still because I never turned it off yesterday, did I? That's still there. We can do that. That'll be fine. If people want to donate, very much appreciated. If not, that's cool too. You've already more than doubled what my monthly goal was. And we will, of course, be doing a painting stream tomorrow where we will be busting out for the first time choosing the part of the St. Jude painting. That's on there. You can, of course, book matches for AIW. And again, thank you to everyone who's been engaging with that content. I'm really surprised at how well that's doing. I love that people are vibing with that and they're really invested. So that it makes my withered piratical heart happy. So yeah, we'll be doing this. Won't be kind of an extensively long stream because this is my 4th stream this week and I'm streaming again tomorrow and Sunday. Oh my god, how are you all not sick of me yet? But seriousness, I don't want to stretch myself too much because I did the bonus stream on Tuesday because I could, and then, but I mean it's fundraising month, so I like to do the extra ones during fundraising. On which note, tomorrow I will be streaming at my usual time slot, 3 p.m. Eastern, for mini painting. I am also going to stream on Sunday at 1 p.m. That is going to be one of the milestones we hit with the fundraising, which was I'm going to be playing City Skylines, which is chill city management, city building stuff. And hello, Stephen, if I didn't say it already. Sorry, I just realized. So chill city management, city building, which can be decidedly not chill because chat can donate to cause chaos like natural disasters or Thanos snapping half of the population away. It'll be interesting with tech on that because I've not tried using crowd control before, and I couldn't find a way to really test it without having to purchase coins. So it'll be interesting. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out. Um, yeah, I think that covers just about everything. So we'll get on with some unboxing. Um, the only thing I will say before I dive into it, we're going to start out with the core set and then go through the others. For the Obi-Wan and Dooku squads, I did go through them a little bit earlier, and I removed the game cards from them. The reason I have done that is because Atomic Mass Games they asked politely for me to do that. The reason being they have not published any of that information yet on their various like blog social sites, so they asked if I wouldn't mind maybe don't showcase those until they have the opportunity to put them out themselves. I'm sure they're already they've sent out a bunch of these kits to a bunch of people, so I'm sure they're out there already. But you know what? They made the request of me, and I'm more than happy to honor a very easy request because let's be honest, I'm more interested in the minis right now. The minis is what I focus on. Hey, Banana Mobster, welcome in. So, let me move some of this stuff out the way so we can actually start digging down into this. Way, here we go. I was going to say, I wish to see the minis. Yes, I haven't even opened. I have not even opened the box of anything other. I opened those 2 squad boxes to take cards out, and that's all I've done thus far. All I did was remove the cellophane wrapping. For context, this box is significantly larger than the Marvel Crisis Protocol box. Like, it's a good, like, almost 50% again as tall. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that because I love the what they have chosen to showcase on the front cover. I was talking with Val about this earlier today. How we've got, Maul and Ahsoka front and center, right where she should be. Bo-Katan right there, and yeah, I'm sure Anakin's there too, fine, whatever. But Ahsoka is right there, the big showcase spot, as she should be. And hello, Jelly Legs, welcome in. Have a good dinner, Cypher. But yeah, I'm very excited about how prominent Ahsoka has been in their marketing because I've been marathoning Clone Wars. I'm up to like season 4 or 5 at this point. Ahsoka's great. I love her. She's fantastic. On which note, the core set, as you can probably tell from the box, is very Clone Wars themed. Shatterpoint itself is not Clone Wars themed. They've already announced that various other points throughout the Star Wars history will be represented. It's not going to be restricted to any specific time period. From what I was told at Adepticon, there are going to be restrictions in the way you can build your force, and that your force has to be built from the same time period. But I think that's kind of to avoid people doing weird things like having both, say, Anakin and Darth Vader on your force. Spoilers. But they will, like, they've already announced, hello there, a very cool duel set, which if you paid any attention to Marvel Crisis Protocol, you might have seen some of their cool duel sets. Like, they've got one that I really want to get myself of Wolverine versus Sabretooth. Spoilers, by the way, there might be a couple of fun new extra chat commands in that I haven't published. You might be able to put some context clues together and figure out what one of those might be. Wolverine versus Sabretooth with like a Weapon X facility in the background. They showcased, it's up on their Twitter right now. They have one of those that's Obi-Wan versus Vader. Like old Alec McGuinness Obi-Wan versus Vader with a really cool like terrain set for it as well. I'm very excited about stuff like that. Like, yeah, Vader's going to be in it. Luke's going to be in it. You've got all the time periods covered. Yeah. Prequels. I haven't seen anything as of yet from the sequels, but I'm sure it'll be in there eventually. And if they're doing Clone Wars, I would be very surprised if they don't eventually start pulling from other stuff. Like, at some point, might we see something like, I don't know, Din Djarin, like a set from The Mandalorian? Entirely possible. I could easily see them going that way with it. Like, there's so much canon they have to pull from. very excited. I would honestly love to see a Grogu in this scale, which, on that note, I've said on that note like 5 times, sorry. They did also preview at Adepticon. There is going to be an Ewok set for Shatterpoint. They just like revealed / put out the Ewoks for Star Wars Legion. Ewoks are going to be in Shatterpoint as well. That's out there. So if you enjoy the little fuzzballs, they'll be in the game. And if you hate the little fuzzballs, they'll be in the game so you can fight them. So everybody wins. I did indeed say Ewoks. I did say Ewoks. But that's tight. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, that's... Oh, no, it's upside down. It's upside down. Quick, let me just spin that around. Like that presentation. I like that. And sorry about my lamp, by the way. There's not much I can really do about that. It's very reflective. It'll get easier as I stop pulling through so much reflective cardboard. Oh, hello. Hello there. Oh, look, Stephen is awake. Surprising, literally nobody. No, look at this. This is really cool. I love this. I've never seen a set do this. They've given art backdrops with it. I absolutely love this. Oh, that's really cool. It's like you can fold it like as a backdrop to photograph the minis with. I've never seen a set do this. That's so cool. I'm really, really thrilled about that. Beautiful. And smart. Also, I love that their hashtag is a pun. Hashtag Shatterpaint. Love that. And yeah, that's cool. But yeah, we got... I wanted to... Do they have... Oh, it's double-sided too. So we've got... I don't think that's supposed to... I don't think that is... I don't know which planet that is. But mini sets for the Insta generation. Exactly. And we got Ice Planet. I'm really, really pleased to see that as I bash my light. That is very, very cool. I love that. That's a really cool a bit of attention to detail. Honestly, smart from a marketing standpoint too, because it showed people are going to take pictures of the minis, put them up on social media, and that's going to make them look better. So that's very smart. And of course, I'm not going to do this on stream, but I love popping out tokens. I'm going to look forward to doing that later. I love popping out tokens from cardboard from new board games. The core rule set, which I did play through this at... I did a demo game at Adepticon, and I thought it was really fun. It's very cinematic. Just taking a look at the mini pictures in the booklet. Look at all that static grass. I love that. If you are familiar at all with Marvel Crisis Protocol, I think you'll pick up Shatterpoint very easily. Interestingly, I did it reverse. I did the demo game of Shatterpoint, and then I met up with my friend Kaz, the Mini Arcanist, who taught me how to play Marvel Crisis Protocol. And as they were teaching me, I'm like, oh, it's like this thing they just showed me in Shatterpoint. The two games have a lot of mechanical kind of similarities. So if you're familiar with one, you'll find it very easy, I think, to pick up the other. Get that again. Space background, love that. All right, here we go. This is what I'm here for, and this is what I know most of you are here for as well. Look at all of this. Oh, there's so many big old sheets of terrain. I blocked my camera with it. Oh god, hold on. All right, so we'll move this out. I think this looks like it might all be the terrain. So let me... Oh god, how am I going to do this? Space boot the camera, indeed. Just a little force push on the camera, only the force is minis. There we go. Right, so let me move the box over here for just a minute so I can not throw everything on the floor. Stay. Just sprues and sprues and sprues and sprues and sprues. We got... Yep, this bag is nothing but terrain. This bag is just terrain, and that makes me so happy. I love building terrain. I love painting terrain. It's a joy. We've got so much of it. There's still more. Okay, those I love the bases. Those are going to be real fun to paint. I'm looking forward to doing those. Okay, yeah. I don't know if there are actual instructions in the box for building everything, but I saw all of the instructions were on the website as PDFs. So did I put the? Yes, I did. Let me take a quick look because I know. Move this box onto the floor so I don't accidentally smash everything. I know with MCP they did have like build instructions in the manual. I don't think that, yeah, they haven't done that with this one. But I said the build instructions are on the website, so which I actually kind of prefer. Yeah, because easy to just have that quick reference up. Just pop them onto your phone. You don't have to like pull the rule book out to dig through and find them. So that'll be, yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff like storage crates and railings and all fun stuff. Love that. I know from that demo game I played that the terrain is a huge part of the game. It's very if you've played a skirmish war game before, you'll be kind of familiar with how they work, but like the terrain is a huge aspect to it. Lots of like which level are you on, kind of line of sight, taking cover, that type of thing. Which I really like personally, because I think that I'm a very visual person. And so that kind of cinematic, having the cool like story play out through the game is a major aspect of these types of games that really appeals to me. And yeah, Shatterpoint really satisfied that particular craving of mine. Let's pop those back into the bag. And depending on, and for the record, tomorrow's paint stream now, depending on how the weather goes, I may try and paint up some of the terrain. We shall see. I'm not going to be painting the minis on stream this month. Spoilers, that might have something to do with future activations we have planned. But I want to get the terrain done, because if I do the terrain first, then I can use the terrain to take cool pictures of the completed minis. So that will be fun. Strategy. Occasionally I think about things. It's rare, but sometimes I do it. All right, so let's move this bar out of the way. So let me just... What I don't think about is organization. Oh, wow. Yep, this is lots of minis. Lots of minis. And cards and tokens and fun little turn tracker and all of that good stuff. Let's take a look through these. I'm not gonna go through and build all of these right now. Again, that may be a thing we do tomorrow. Oh, hey, look, it's even more terrain. More terrain. So much more terrain. I see wheels in here, so we may have some vehicles to hang around as well. It looks like a wheel. It could just be actually it could be like the cap of a vent or something. But looks very nifty. Love that. Even more terrain. Good lord. There's a lot of plastic in this. Wheels for tanks. Alright, let's come in here. Alright, so let's pull out the actual units, because that's what I want to take a quick look at to see and showcase and look at some of the details. Alright, so... Okay, looks like it comes... Yeah, very similar kind of sprue structure to Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is pretty much what I expected. Lots of like flying jetpacks, which I'm a big fan of. I love me some flying jetpacks. Actually, what I might do is, yeah, I think what we might do tonight actually is we'll go through it, because it's not going to take me too terribly long to go through and unbox everything. So we might actually start building some of these tonight. That might be the plan. May go through either the minis or the terrain. I'm not sure. So I was just digging through to kind of assess to see if they've split them between like sides, and they don't appear to have. So that's good. Well, good to know. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Atomic Mass Games. Very much appreciate that. I can see a few. Yeah, so, oh, we can easily see who we can make out over here onto the side of this particular sprue. I see the face there that many of you may recognize. We've got Ahsoka right there. A few fun. We've got the clone troopers, and genuinely, there's one on that sprue, and we have some others on here. I genuinely and ironically am the most excited to kind of paint up these guys. I love the battle droids. Genuinely and unironically, I love the battle droids. I love these goofy little guys. They make me very, very happy. So, love to see that. Okay, double-bladed saber. That's Maul. I can see Maul over there. And have they? Okay, good. I like what they. Yeah, I was wondering for Maul if they had sculpted his markings onto the mini, and they have. I like that. That's going to make it easier for people to paint. Big fan of that move. Big flowy cape of Asajj Ventress, excuse me, who I absolutely love. Oh, hello. Hello there. Oh, look what they've done. EO8, so parts 8 and 9, we have both helmet and no helmet Bo-Katan. I like that. So you can choose whether to have Bo-Katan helmeted or not. I'm going to have to see how that model goes together and see if potentially I can... I wonder if I can magnetize that so you can hot swap them. I may look into doing that. We shall see. But I like that decision. That makes me very happy. Then we have Anakin, clone troopers. The same for Ahsoka. Oh, let me take a closer look back at that. So you indeed did. I can see that. I see on the what's the name? There's a name for Ahsoka's head tendrils. I can never remember what the name is. I'm the absolute worst. But those have the markings sculpted as well. Montrails, thank you. That's the one. I like actually several of the Mandos seem to have a helmet and no helmet option. Big fan. Love that. Yeah, I really like that because you can have the choice of potentially having the extra helmet, having the face gives a little more character to it depending on how you feel about it. Or if you just don't want to paint a face, because as I have espoused numerous times on stream, give me the option to not paint eyes, and I will probably take that option. The helmet, which also has some very intricate detail carved into it. Love that. Oh, these are going to be so much fun to paint. Whichever one you don't use can be head on a spike. That's certainly one way to do it. That's the that's a future set. Is you get those kind of the dual sets or the future squads. We'll eventually get a squad that's just baby. I say baby, like young child Boba Fett, who comes with just Jango Fett's head, so you can reenact that scene from the prequels. Yeah, these are going to be really, really fun to paint. I'm looking forward to this. I'm genuinely looking forward so much to painting the battle droids, because those are going to be nice and quick to paint, and they're going to look so good. They're going to look so good. Oh, we got so much stuff in the core set. I love it. Oh, let me put the minis back in the little plastic bag so I can keep them. Actually, were they in the plastic bag? I don't think those ones were in the plastic bag. So those can just go in there. If not, they'll be fine. And again, I didn't open this one out because it's got lots of loose parts into it. It sounds like, but more terrain. Terrain everywhere. So much terrain. It's stuff I'm so excited about. Let me pull that down there. So that largely covers what you get in the core set, which, as I said, is a huge amount of terrain. I've said the word terrain so many times, but it makes me very happy. Because I love what you get in the MCP core set, but I do kind of wish there was more of it. And Yeah, here we go. 23 terrain pieces in total. In addition to the... Oh, that's probably what those loose parts are, is the movement tools. That makes sense. Tokens, which I'm going to have fun popping out later. Ooh, that's what I should do. Because these cards I am okay to show off. Pull those out of the box here. So we have, yeah, just to show off the unit cards. Because the art's really pretty too. And you can tell, I noticed this at Adepticon too, you can really tell that the people who worked on this have a great deal of love for the series, but also lean into the meme aspect of it too, which is perfect for me. Like, again, Ahsoka's ability, what's the matter, too fast for you? Yeah, isn't the art amazing? And if you like the art, you'll also appreciate the full-sized art on the other side. Jedi no more. Let's dig through. We got some Bo-Katan Kryze. Prior to the Mandalore, Mandalorians are stronger together. Mandalore will survive. Very much a theme for Bo-Katan, which as it should be. Clan Kryze Mandalorians, who also have that Mandalorians are stronger together, which I very much like. After the unit makes a move action, it may use this ability. If a character in this unit is within 2 of another allied Mandalorian, the unit immediately makes a focus action. So keep the Mandalorians together, they work better. There we have General Anakin Skywalker, who can force jump. I'm going to end this. Deflect, and this is where the fun begins. Like that. If you're not quoting Star Wars and sassing your opponents, you're not really playing Shatterpoint to its fullest. Exactly. Captain Rex, who I've been marathoning Star Wars, Clone Wars, so I actually know who Rex is now, and I really like Rex. I'm always first, kid. Bring it on, clankers. And same type of thing when this unit has one or more, I presume, given that looks like the helmet, I'm presuming that's a Clone Trooper icon. So yeah, keeping the Clone Troopers together is... And there we have the 501st, yep. There he is. Lord Maul. Revenge, I must have revenge, sustained by rage. That's full speed. Choose a character in this unit, and an enemy unit within 3 of that character. Oh, so he's like, pull the enemy. So he's the kind of force pull, like, no. We're fighting now. Gar Saxon, merciless commander. I'm looking forward to painting him up. We're going to get some fun light effects going with that helmet. Also, as the Mandalorians are stronger together, which I presume is also on his super commandos, and indeed it is. They also have jetpacks, because jetpacks make everything better. And there she is. I love her. Asajj Ventress, Sith assassin. Riposte. Okay, I like that. Slip away. Leaning into kind of the stealth assassin aspect of it. Big fan of that. And, the opposite side, she has force push. Again, really fun art. Really fun art. Kalani, super tactical droid. My favorite ability in the game. Roger. Just because of the name. I love the battle droids. They make me happy. Speaking of the battle droids, there they are. Well, I guess I'm in charge now. I hate this job. That's it. They're just goofy little lads, and I love them. I like their snoots. Yep. If somebody wants to put, by the way, exclamation mark Roger in chat, you might enjoy what happens. There's the cards, and then we got various, again, same type of thing to MCP. We got the various missions so that you can determine what you have to do.
Roger.
There it goes. I love the battle droids. They're my favorites. So yeah, fun card. Oh, actually, there was something else I wanted to point out with these. Let me see if they still have the same design that I saw, because there was something about some of these cards that made me very excited. Lots of these. I don't think it was necessarily on these ones. Lots of fun, like mission cards and whatnot. Ba-ba. Put these through the other way as you're steal this. Okay, I like that fun design. It kind of looks like a little communicator type device. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. So this card. This in the deck is... I forget exactly what the mechanic in the game is. There are people who are more tactical who can probably explain that better than I can. The Shatterpoint card. When I saw this at Adepticon, there was one aspect of this game that made me very, very... of this card specifically that made me very, very excited. And I will explain exactly what it was. If you've seen the Clone Wars. So, hi Obi-Wan. Hi Asajj. Hi Maul. Hi Ahsoka. Hi Dooku. Hi Bo-Katan. Hi Hondo. Hondo, who is not yet in the game as a miniature. Space pirate, gentleman pirate Hondo, who I absolutely freaking love. And has made it to this card. So I can only assume is going to be in the game at some point. Give me the space pirate unit. I'm going to be everyone's problem if and when that comes out. Speaking of units from Clone Wars that aren't out yet, but are going to be in the game because they got announced, and a character who has made it into The Mandalorian, so even if you haven't seen Clone Wars, you might recall him from The Mandalorian. Cad Bane is going to be in the game as a mini, and I am very excited to paint Cad Bane. I didn't know who he was until he showed up in The Mandalorian, and now having seen him show up in Clone Wars, I love Cad Bane so much. I love that bounty hunting bastard, man. He is an absolute jerk, and I love him. All right. So let's pop some of the card. Yeah, so cardboard. I'm gonna pop that later because that's gonna be... That's like me with bubble wrap. All right. So I'm gonna have to rewatch Clone Wars now. Yes. We have also the Take Cover Terrain pack, which I didn't... And for the record, I was only expecting to get sent the core set, so I'm very, very excited to get all the rest of this stuff. Take Cover Terrain pack. I said, haven't opened this one either yet. So. Okay. This one does have a little booklet in it. So many people missed that art at Adepticon. I know a pirate when I see one. Is this the... Okay, there's the... just like kind of a... Ooh, I like that they did this. So I'm going to point this out because this is something that Games Workshop refused to do. And so I'm very happy to see this listed in the little booklet for this game. Because we got like all the, like his, your list of credits. You got your game designers, development managers, all of this type of stuff. Everyone who obviously deserves all of the credit. But this part, this line right here, the miniature painting and the sculpting. I love that the mini painters and the sculptors get called out in the credits. Games Workshop refused to do this. They always, you can always tell if somebody has done a sculpt for GW because when they put something out on Instagram, somebody will go, I was part of the team that developed this mini, and that is code for I sculpted this mini. They don't want individual names attached to it. There's good and bad reasons as to why they've made that decision, but as a miniature painter, it makes me very happy to see the mini artists getting named credits because it doesn't happen all the time. So very happy to see that has been done here. We'll open some of these. Not going to take all of these out because I can tell this is the bag I'm going to struggle to get them back into again, but I do want to at least take out one of them. Because I see giant rocks. Yep, big old giant rocks. I actually genuinely love these. Giant rocks are some of my favorite pieces of terrain to paint because all you have to do is just prime them and like 2 layers of dry brushing and boom, you're done and they look great. Especially when they've got this level of texturing on them. So, yeah, this is going to be like, boom, just like a warm brown spray, light brown dry brush, maybe kind of a gray off-white lighter dry brush, and boom, you're done and it's on the table and it's going to look amazing. Big, big fan of that. That is going to be my focus, by the way, with the painting content when I do it, is it's going to be very focused around how do you paint this stuff to get it onto the table quickly, and then here's some extra steps to take it to the next level. There we go. Okay, this one's a smaller one. I wanted to pull this out because I saw them on the box. People who are more deeply invested in Star Wars lore than I am will know the name of this, but the little box droid. The little box droid with its tiny little feet that are super cute. I'm glad that we got one of those in. Gonk! Gonk. Okay, knowing that that's its name, that makes me love it even more. That's such a good name. I love that. I love that so much. That's going to be fun to paint too. Looking forward to that. Alright, so let's pop that here. Isn't it the perfect name? Alright, let me pop that back into this box so I can keep myself at least a tiny, tiny bit organized. Go. The Take Cover Terrain Pack. Alright, so let's pull out one of the other sets. I'm saving my favorite one for last. So we will look at the Count Dooku Twice the Pride Squad Pack. Which again, I have removed the cards from this, so we're just going to focus on the minis for right now. Once again, mini painting on this one. So let's take a quick look. We'll just pop them out of the bag real quick. Check out some of the fun details. There we go. Okay. I'm looking for faces specifically. Scanning out. There he is. Oh, I like it. Let me hold it up to the camera to try and get it to focus in. Come on. It's very small, so it's going to take a little finagling. There we go. Lots of detail on Dooku's face. I love that. Oh, hello. Oh, we've even got his forehead wrinkles are even sculpted in. That's nice. I like that. I'm liking that. I very much like that. Yep. And over there we got your boy Jango Fett as well. Got the tactical stuff to stand on for the bases, because that's how every mini these days has to be. You've got to have your tactical rock, which looks like the tactical rock for this one is for Jango. But love these big swoopy capes. All of that's one thing I've been very impressed by with all the minis they've done in this range thus far, is the minis all have this really good sense of motion to them, which really, in my opinion, really helps lend itself well to the more cinematic aspect that they seem to be leaning into with the game. And I love that, because I'm of a vintage, when I recall days where for our war games all we got were like monopose, just standing stock still minis. So seeing the more modern design aesthetic of lots of motion, lots of tactical rocks, lots of fun poses makes me very, very happy. It kind of looking at the stuff that's around and seeing the pictures of like tables in play now, it's one of those things where it kind of makes it feel like how in my head it was when I was a kid. And here we go. The pack that proves that everyone working on, or at least the people working on this, making some of the fun decisions, are not only having a great love of the property, but really leaning into the meme aspect of it. The Hello There Squad pack, with Obi-Wan, Commander Cody, and two 204th Clone Troopers. Let's take a quick look at these ones. Again, nice dynamic pose for Obi-Wan there. Got your no helmet Commander Cody. Actually, 12. Okay, yeah, 3 heads. So Cody, you could also do him helmeted or non. Like that. And Obi-Wan and Cody both get tactical rocks in this set, so clearly, I mean, that's appropriate. I mean, if Django has the high rock, has the rock there, and 2 of them have the rocks on this, so the Obi-Wan squad has the high ground, which is probably how it should be. Love that. Painting up the clone troopers is going to be real fun because I get to paint nice white armor and then ding it up. That's always really satisfying. I love getting to do that. Where's Obi-Wan? Again, love the sculpts. What I really like about the sculpts that they've done too is they've definitely leaned more into the Clone Wars design style, because I saw this with Dooku as well. Both Obi-Wan and Dooku have those very angular beards, which is real fun. Because that's something I've noticed a lot of sculpts on minis really struggle with, is either you're clean shaven or you have a massive bushy beard. The more like short or close cropped beards seem to be really difficult to make look decent on a small mini scale. It's either Mountain Man or clean shaven. So I like that decision to lean into the Clone Wars aesthetic and have them be very angular and clean cut, but still, you know, bearded. I think it looks good, sells the feel of them. Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Fun posing. Yeah, that's fun. Like that. I like that a lot. And similar like style of bases, so we can keep them all looking like they're a part of the same thing. Love that. I also like the I noticed on the quote they chose for the back of the box. Hello there, DC. Welcome in, welcome in. The burden is on me to not destroy all the droids until you arrive. Good choice of quote. I approve. I also want to see, what was the one on Dooku? Your swords, please. We don't want to make a mess of things in front of the Chancellor. I'll read through this, actually. A sinister, stiff... Oh, wait, did they do the same thing on this? They did? Oh, I like that. They wrote the back of the box like the intro to every episode of Clone Wars, where it does the, like, here's your wartime reporting. Initial, first, very exuberant first line. A sinister Sith Lord stalks the galaxy. Once a respected Jedi Knight and the Padawan of Grandmaster Yoda himself, Count Dooku has chosen the dark side. He now serves as the apprentice to Darth Sidious, carrying out his master's will in dark schemes from Geonosis to Coruscant and beyond, using powerful pawns such as the bounty hunter Jango Fett. Although he is often protected by IG-100 Magna Guards, Dooku has unparalleled skill with a lightsaber and is more than a match for multiple Jedi. Hey, Panther. With his knowledge of the dark side and the weight of the Separatist army at his back, he has all the tools he needs to secretly orchestrate a galactic civil war. Obi-Wan. A Jedi Master battles to... I can't speak. A Jedi Master battles to maintain the Republic. With the Republic under attack from all sides, the noble Obi-Wan Kenobi steps forward to contain the Separatist threat. At his side are the Clone Marshal Commander known as Cody and the Phase 2 clone troopers of the renowned 212th Attack Battalion. United in their resolve to preserve the Republic, they battle the Separatist threat throughout the galaxy. Known for their ability to strategize even in the thick of battle and ferocity in combat, Kenobi, Cody, and the 212th represent one of the Republic's best chances to restore peace to the galaxy. I like that. Yay. Yeah, that's kind of dug through. So we pulled through everything that is in the sets I have. I said, really, really, no peace, only nonsense. Hi, Lady Luck. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is have a quick bit of water, and then yeah, I'm going to pull up one of those guides, and let me grab my this wheel over here real fast. I do want to grab my cutting mat to protect my desk. And let's try building some of this terrain, because I want to see how it looks like all of a sudden. And some of the minis I might want to build in sub-assemblies. We'll see. I don't think I necessarily will. They're not so complex that I think I will necessarily need to, but we'll take a look. Desks should always use protection. It's true. All right, so let's start with these ones. Please open. I think this one looks relatively straightforward. So we do there. All right, and what I will do, where's my phone gone? Let me grab this over here. Shatterpoint. So I want to pull up the assembly guides. Here we go. Click on
Roger.
Roger. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. We can click on product to download the assembly guide PDF, which is what we're going to do. There we go. So there's our PDF. So let me scroll down through to the terrain. Here we go. So we've got gantries, tower. Let's see, which one is this? This is R03 and S. So R and S. Tech shed. It's the tech shed. And the vent building. Okay. So let's start with the tech shed. So we need parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, that's nice and convenient. They at least they have the parts needing to be assembled in numerical order. That makes me very happy. Though I think I may not have all of the... Let me just make sure that I only need this one sprue. It's 2, 3, 4. Don't see part 1. It's entirely possible that I'm just not looking properly, but I think I may need to dig out a different... That's another S. But that's good. You know, you got S parts, or group you with you. And which you are R. There we go. And there's R1. Okay, that's what I needed. And I said there are several, so if you were to perhaps type !" hello there in chat, you might also get another little one of those responses. Okay. Right, now where are my clippers? Where did I put my good clippers specifically?
Hello there.
Is this them? To me, yes, these are my good ones. The hidden meme commands, indeed. Did that one work? Okay, good. That one I think is a little quieter. So, all right. So let me pull this back out. All right, so we are looking for parts 1, 2, R01, which looks like it's this one. Yep. So clip these off, and these will be nice and simple because they're just straight edges to clip. And around the bottom part. Boop. IKEA construction for Star Wars. It is very much IKEA construction for Star Wars. But I love doing this. I love the build process. I'm so weird. So many mini painters hate the build process. I absolutely love it. Like to the point where I've seriously considered, like, when I start doing, if I ever start doing more like commission work, which the reason I really don't is because of the time it takes. I would seriously consider like doing commissions just to build stuff, and then like, okay, you can paint it, just send it to me, I'll build it for you. You can pay me to build your stuff, and we're set. Because I find it really relaxing. The downside is doing something like that, then you have to find ways to safely transport it once it's all successfully built, and that can be a little tricky. All right, so that's part 1. Parts 2 and 3. I'm going to try and keep these in some semblance of order so that I know which is which, because they are very similar, and I can probably like figure it out just by which is left and which is right, but you know, I do struggle with directions. So not like following the IKEA-esque construction manuals, but more just which is left and which is right. To the point where I genuinely keep a little metal compass. It was actually a gift from Wings. A Devonrue little compass on my desk so that I can consult it to remember what's east and what's west, because not uncommonly have I, when DMing, told my players that something was happening in one direction and then accidentally put them in a bad situation I had to rectify because I told them I told them something was coming from the west when it was actually coming from the east. I just got them mixed up. Do the hand thing to figure out left and right every time. Look, I mean, I understand, but you know, I've tried to do that, and for some reason, every time I still get it wrong. I don't. That just doesn't work for me. All right. I mean, your other left. Your other left. And the part of the problem is I'm running the module I run for them is very, very map and combat heavy. If I was and we use like online map tools to do it so that I can keep them, so that it helps keep them engaged. And I struggle with aphantasia, so it's difficult. I do find it somewhat difficult to describe things if I don't have them explicitly written down in front of me. So that leads in the problem in situations like that where if I screw it up, I can't just refix things in my mind because they can't see it. No, they can see exactly what I've screwed up. Stage left and stage right. I tend to use left and right more frequently with that. Can I blame you now for being focused on the September MTG set release? Yes, we can share blame for this, Lady Luck. We can absolutely share blame for that. You've been enabling me, and so you know it works both ways. All right. So I'm just trying to clear off some of these little extra parts to make sure everything is nice and smooth. I could for this bust out a file, but I really don't. For buildings especially, I don't think it's necessary, because even if I do wind up with a little bit of an extra lump or something, especially in a setting like this, I can just disguise it with some battle damage. And that's going to be something I'm looking forward to with these buildings, is making them look all like blasted up. So here we go. So part 1, which is you go there, and you were part 2, which goes on. Did I have this? I think I have that backwards. I may have that backwards. I do have that backwards. That is exact. Yes, the thing I said about how I needed to keep them so I remember. Oh, I had it upside down. I was trying to put it on upside down. That was my problem. That's my fault. I don't know how directions work, as we just clearly established, and that's fine. There we go. So that's going to go in like that. So let me bust out the old, and I believe this is going to work if they use the same casting process they used for MCP. My beloved Tamiya plastic cement will work well for this. So let's pop that on. I absolutely swear by Tamiya Extra Thin. I swear for a great many reasons, but I'm trying not to do it today because I'm trying to behave because AMG were very kind. And so I'm trying to not, trying to be professional. Baja blasted buildings. Yes. Absolutely. All right, so let's get those. I'll just hold that in place for a minute. This stuff does start to set relatively quickly, so I don't need to hold it for too terribly long. It's fine. Yes, hashtag professional pirate. When you're a professional pirate, the honest, brave, and free, the soul of decency. I need to watch Muppet Treasure Island again. It's been far too long. Every year I watch Muppet Christmas Carol at Christmas, because it became a tradition when I was living in Oklahoma with a very dear friend of mine who I unfortunately have. We still follow on Twitter and occasionally interact there, but somebody who I don't have a great deal of contact with these days because he has a kid now and has his own life, and I struggle with reaching out to people and just basic social interaction. So don't really stay in touch near as I would like to, but I do love the. I like to keep that tradition up. Community. Oh, see, I have actually been checking this Sahana for quite a few times now, waiting to see if Muppet Treasure Island will ever go up onto like Amazon Prime Video so that I can do a streamed community watch along. Hey, Matt Will Jackson, welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Let's hold that in place there. That's going to need a little extra time. And I realized I didn't scrape down the top of this building properly, so let me do that. You should also or never do what I do, in that I have this horrible tendency to cut towards myself. Don't ever do that. Do as I say, not as I do. Because that's horrendously unsafe. Oh, that goes upside down that way. I see. Okay. So that's going to go there. That will go like that. Okay. Perfect. All right, so let's get some glue onto these. What I'll do is I'll pop the glue on this side, because that way I can leave the base part of this little, was it a tech hut, I think it said? Yeah, tech shed. And this is, this feels good. I like getting to do this because, let's be honest, in the year 2020 and 3, I'm certainly not going to be ever able to own property. And so this is the closest I'm ever going to get to wanting to actually getting to build a shed. So, I'm getting to live my fantasies by building a shed. Living the dream. So that goes in there properly. Never do, and have my managers when I work at GameStop get mad at me for doing that. Nope, never. Nope, never, 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 never. Nope. Absolutely not. I think I may need to do this side by side because me. Kiros is dreaming very loudly. He just let out a big old growl. All right, so I think that's going to need some more glue on it, but I'm going to, yeah, see, like that. I just kind of popped it open, so that's okay, because I can just run the liquid cement in there like that. And we'll just pop that back into place. Is one of the reasons I like the Tamiya extra thin is if there are gaps, I can easily just kind of run it in and reposition. And most importantly, I can just run it in from the inside. I heard your opinions on Winter Carol, Summer Treasure. I want to know how right you are. Exactly, exactly. I guess Shatterpoint is cool or whatever. It is. In fact, whilst I'm continuing to build this, and that's actually going to help. The next part's going to be the roof, and that's going to really solidify it all together. Because this is always a fun discussion that I love to have, and contextually, given that we're building Star Wars stuff, following the tradition of movies featuring the Muppets need to have a single human actor, and everyone else is played by Muppets. If you were to recast any of the Star Wars movies, or any Star Wars characters really, who would be the one character who remains human? And which Muppet gets cast as which other character? It's a little trickier with Star Wars because of stuff like, Yoda. But we'll stick with just the characters who are played by humans. Who would be the and actually I will allow in the case of Star Wars, I will permit multiple humans in situations of, say, Luke and Leia needing to be played by two humans. Han Solo as the lone human. C-3PO and R2 have such Statler and what? Okay, you know what? I changed my mind. Yes, I was saying restrict to the human characters, but Sahana, you're too right. 3PO and R2 is Statler and Waldorf. Yes. Everyone is a Muppet and Yoda's just some dude. That's it. Yes. Just some. Honestly, because this is always the funny one to go with, everyone else gets recast as Muppets except for Yoda, who gets recast as Danny DeVito. And it's just Danny DeVito hanging out in the swamp. To replace Yoda with Statler. I'm not opposed to the idea of replacing a single character with two. It worked in Christmas Carol with Marley, where they split Marley into two characters and had it be Statler and Waldorf. The one thing I will insist upon, because I hate that Muppets moved away from this, is if you cast Gonzo as anything, Gonzo has to be paired with Rizzo. I hate that they stopped pairing Gonzo and Rizzo together. It works so well. Rizzo as Chewie, I kind of love that. I'm not going to lie. The size difference alone makes that incredible. See, Miss Piggy as Han could be interesting, but I'm also kind of envisioning like Kermit and Piggy as Luke and Leia. If we have Han as the human, and that's exactly it. They use Pepe the Prawn instead of Rizzo these days. And it's like, no, I prefer Rizzo was iconic. I think Kermit and Piggy as Luke and Leia could be very interesting. There. Sweetums as Chewbacca, Samuel L. Jackson as Lone Human. Don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Let's pop you in there. Of course, if we're following this through to its logical conclusion, and we have only one Fozzie as Lando, could be interesting. If we're following this through to its conclusion, though, and we have only a single human character, and we're having Han be the human, which Muppet is Vader? Because someone's got to be Vader. And in my mind, that's the role for Gonzo. Gonzo as Vader would be amazing. Because then you can have like Rizzo as somebody like Viz. Well, I that's the thing is I want everyone to see it coming because in my head this is you have Darth Vader but with Gonzo's nose coming out of the helmet. Just that makes me that idea just makes me very very happy. All right, so that I think actually for this part that shed is that this the shed is done at that point. Love that. Also, I like what they've done with the way this has been built. Being Bunny and you don't know it till the mask comes off. I like that too. There's Gonzo Vader merch. Link that, please, Stephen. I want to see this. Um, I like this with some of the MCP stuff too that they did because what I can do with this now is because there is no bottom to it. This is storage now. So now I can keep this upside down and just put like scatter terrain in here. Makes me happy. All right, so let's move on to the next part of the shed. The shed. 6, 7, 8, and 9. I think I may need to locate an additional sprue because I've got 6 and 9. Oh no, wait, 7 and 8 are on. Oh, I don't. They're all on here. We're good. Beaker as Jar Jar. Yes. 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 There was a sketch of the Muppet doing Star Wars and Gonzo was Vader, complete with nose masks. Maybe I saw this and this is in some deep recessed part of my brain. Maybe I have like seen this at some point and my brain has just hung on to it because it's amazing. Bunsen and Honeydew and Beaker as the Emperor and Vader. No. If we're gonna recast like Bunsen and Honeydew as somebody, well, it's episode 42 of the Muppet Show according to Google is Gonzo as Vader. Good to know. Ahoy, Towen, welcome in, welcome in. Bunsen, Honeydew, and Beaker. If we're going to do them as a duo, Vader and Emperor could be interesting, but that's maybe a recast for 3PO and R2. Only you kind of reverse the one who speaks. It's like Honeydew is R2 and Beaker is 3PO, because Beaker and 3PO have the same energy. You just have to switch which one of them talks. It still works. And yes, let me hydrate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Somehow the Swedish chef returned. Thank you, Stephen. I will check that out later. All right, so those there. So I think it's these two parts, 7 and 8. These two, yes, good. Now I need to hope that it doesn't rain tomorrow so I can take this stuff out onto the patio and prime it. I got a plan. I have to plan forward. Hey, Cypher, welcome in. Because I've actually started. I've already got like some plans in mind. Like I have a whole paint scheme in mind for the the battle droids. If Gonzo as Vader is Camilla the Chicken Amidala, yes, she is Zana. That's the cast right there. That's it. Yes. Love it. Also, DJ Mondo is here. Hello, hello, DJ Mondo. Hi, hi, hi. That's it. That's the cast. Perfect. No notes. All right. So this one goes up this way, and part 7 goes on here like this. All right, so that's going to go there. So let me pop back the glue in here. Glue. Glue. I have a whole little like table set up behind me over here that currently has some other terrain on it. And I'm really looking forward to getting some of this stuff built and painted and getting a whole like diorama done, because I'm trying to learn to get better at mini photography. And what's your glue of choice, Pirate? So if I'm using plastic that works with it, Tamiya extra thin. I absolutely swear by this stuff. Let me see it so I can show you. Tamiya extra thin. It is amazing. Works perfectly well. It's really good for making joins look seamless because it melts the plastic ever so slightly. So when it sets, you can just like push it together, and it makes it look like one seamless piece if you do it right. I also find it, because it melts it and then like lets it reform, it gets a very, very strong bond on it. For metal, I mean, any super glue really works. I don't really have a solid preference for any particular super glue. The one that I have on my desk is Army Painter super glue, but that's just because that's what my local gaming store sells. Like, super glue is super glue, in my opinion. It's all kind of the same, really. I haven't... Oh, shit. Pop that back there. What I do swear by when it comes to super glue is I don't have it immediately within reach, but Army Painter sell this little spray that's like super glue activator. So once you've got it all in place, you can just give it a little like spritz of this little spray, and it causes the super glue to bond immediately. Like, it does some sort of interesting chemical reaction to it. Don't know how the science works, but it saves you having to kind of sit there and hold it and wait for it to set. So I love that stuff. All right, so let's pop that there. So next up on our sheet is part R10, R12, which is our... This, again, is going to be fun to paint. We've got a nice little panel here. I really enjoy painting little like sci-fi tech panels and keyboards because I can do little fun effects, like a little... I'm going to have to look into what type of stuff is displayed in Star Wars on monitors because I want to paint that up like that. And then R11, little round toppy bit. The little round toppy bit, I may actually, because it's rounded and up on the top, I am actually gonna... Where's my stuff? Use one of my little... Will you be painting this on stream? Possibly. I may do this tomorrow, actually, on stream. I'm definitely going to be... So as far as the actual minis themselves, not just the terrain, those would definitely be... Those are definitely getting painted on stream. We have some stuff planned in future. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about what's going on there yet because we're still finalizing specific dates and everything. But there will be stream content of painting the minis. I may do these on stream. It won't necessarily be the whole project on stream because sometimes painting terrain can take a while, especially if you're using... what I like to do with terrain is I like to use a lot of washes to make the base around like where the ground is look really like dirty and dusty. But that means usually flooding it with a ton of wash. And oh, can you drop me a mod note, Sahana, by the way, to put the Shatterpoint command on a timer? I meant to do that and I totally forgot. But yeah, as a good time to talk about that once again. This is a sponsored stream. I did get sent this by Atomic Mass Games very kindly. to showcase this. So if you are interested in the stuff I'm doing right now, do follow that link there, which is my personal tracking link. So that lets them know that you came from me. And if people come through from me and interact with it, get that engagement going, that's what's going to encourage them to do more stuff with me in future. So I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it at Adepticon, where it was a very structured demo game, but I really liked what I saw of it. I'm very keen to play around with it a bit more. Pop that on there. There we go. Hold that down into position. Hold that. That one I think is going to take a little bit of extra effort. Hold that down for just a moment whilst I prepare the next part, which is going to be R12, which goes on this way. Screw that up. No, I didn't. Good. There we go. That's good enough there. That one needs a hug. It does. You know, sometimes there's just a little bit of extra. Yeah, you just need to apply a little bit of extra pressure. Sometimes. Rose the Artist, thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. Lovely to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, so let's pop this one up here. And boop. And over there. There we go. Brilliant. Probably should have trimmed this part a little better. We can get in there now and do it. Like I said, going to leave a little bit of a ding, but that's okay because it's going to just look like battle damage. I think actually maybe what the. Let me scroll. Okay, I think that's meant to have a little this is kind of seam here. I think that's meant to be there. I'm just going to run just a little bit of the cement in there just to make sure we actually have a proper connection. I think it's fine. It's holding on there pretty well, so that's good. All right, there we go. Oh, and we have almost forgot to put on the little top bit. Chancey, I think I could just don't necessarily need to glue that in. That just sits there. Actually, I might not do that. We'll glue it. Oh, have a good luck, Tony. No worries. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very excited to get to work on these. There was a very good point about these too that I saw. Not the usual thing we get in here, indeed not. I saw so one of the mini artists I follow most closely on Instagram and various other things is Duncan Rhodes, who does wonderful, wonderful tutorial videos. And he had got some of these, he was able to get his hands on some of the minis from an event. And he made an excellent point that I hadn't really thought about, which is that I've talked a little bit about this on stream before, how with the way that a lot of modern mini sculpt goes, and you see this a lot with a lot of companies that don't hand sculpt the minis and instead use digital tools to do it, the tendency is to go detailed to the point of it being intimidating and difficult to work with. Like, you know, here's this character that has 50 billion patches on them. Like every character suddenly looks like they were created by Rob Liefeld. And the benefit that a product like this has is that whilst the minis are wonderfully detailed and very, very, very well crafted and sculpted and like printed, because they're based in a lot of cases on actual costumes people wore, there's a reasonable level of detail to them as opposed to making it like excessive. So they're enjoyable to paint without being frustrating, which I hadn't really thought about before, but it was a really good point. That's the benefit of painting a mini that's based off of something that somebody actually wore, is it has to be something that looks practical in reality. So this is where some of the downside with the Tamiya Extra Thin does come in, as I slipped a little bit, and I had a little bit on my finger. So now I've got this little tiny bit of a thumbprint going on in there. But yeah, again, just battle damage. Thinking of Molly's... Good example. Very good example. And we see it a lot with very... Do you have any other Duncan Rhodes paints? I don't. I have not, because they weren't the... I didn't do the Kickstarter. And to my knowledge, I don't think they have a distributor yet in the US that's actually got them in retail stores. I've heard good things of the Two Thin Coats range, but I have not tried them myself. I'm very keen to. I would love to try them out, but the opportunity has not presented itself. The paints I really want to play around more with are the ones by Monument Hobbies. I bought some of them at Adepticon, and I love their metallics. The Pro Acryl Dark Silver is genuinely one of the best metallic paints I've ever worked with. It's so smooth. It flows beautifully. So very keen to play around with those. But yeah, I was saying this is one of the things where you see people getting super salty with various like adaptations of a property that they're really into. It's like, it doesn't look like it did in the comic or the game or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's because the costume in that does not work in reality. The reason the thing you're complaining about is that way because somebody actually has to physically wear it and move in it. So it doesn't work. So I kind of like the fact that so many of these designs originated from an actual physical costume somebody had to wear, because it makes them, much more feasible. Of course, the downside with a property like Star Wars is that does also, on the flip side, mean because there is movie accurate costuming, if you're doing anything official as far as costumes go, there's a very, very strict set of guidelines you have to meet in order to be able to utilize the costuming. Not for like cosplay, but if you're doing it, if you want to be like there's various ways that you can do a thing as like a registered or like get the official branding on your stuff. They are very, very strict in regards to how the costumes can look to be like screen accurate. Which I understand, like they're very protective of the property, and that's their prerogative to be that way. But if you're making the costumes, oh boy, that can be daunting. Especially if your costume is of an actual like canon character. Right. File those down just a bit. I'm not exactly certain what this little thing is. It's like a little like tap to pull, I don't know, like moisture out of the ground or oil or some substance. It's to extract something from the ground, clearly. Just put that in there. Up. All right. So I need R18 and R17, which I think actually this sprue is done. I don't need that anymore, so that can hang out over there for a wee bit. Oh, actually, I think it's a little... Oh, this is going to be what that dish is for. It's like a little radar array, I think. That's fun. Pop, pop, pop. You go. Let's put you... There that goes. Goes that one. So do I put... Okay, I don't put these together first. I have to... Okay, so this is going to be a little tricky because we got the little dish. So because I have to get these around the middle part and then glue them together. Although I think I should probably glue them to the middle part, because otherwise they're going to just flop down because the little radar dish is going to be too heavy. So let me think about this. Actually, is this a dish? It is. It is. Oh, I just scrolled a little further through. I see what this is actually for now. this goes on top. That's a little top. I was like, it was a little like side generator or something. No, that actually goes on top. Oh, and then yeah, this little side bit that I built and didn't think about again. This goes into that, and then we're going to attach the little dish onto it. So I think, yeah, let's do this. Oh wait, are these identical? They are. Good. I was like, oh crap, I lost track of which one was which. It's like, oh, did I just cause a problem for myself? That's what I usually do, is cause problems for myself. So I think in this case, what we'll do... Hey, Tuck, good time zone. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. So let's hold that in place to get just a little bit of a bond on that. There we go. And then let's just dab very gently some along the top parts here. Be very careful because I don't want to accidentally knock that back off. Hey, Boudet, welcome in, welcome in. Oop. And there we go. Pop. There we go. Okay, we got that in place. That can now set and dry. I think these are fine. Finger overs. That one needs a little bit of a... This is something I always struggle with little like mold lines and whatnot, because it can... I do find it can sometimes be a little difficult without just running your finger over them to see if you've got them down far enough to where it's just a little bit of a blemish that's going to get completely covered when you prime it, or if it's still sticking out a wee bit. In this case, I'm not going to overthink it, because it's going to go into this little part, and it'll just, if there are little bobbly bits on it, it'll just look like it's welded in, so that's fine. So as that dries, I'm going to actually glue that in on the feet. Pop you in. Put that in backwards. There we go. Pop you in there. So let's let that set. Sleepy, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's massively early in the morning for you, isn't it? Oop. Cut off a little radar dish. Pile that down. My little sponge pad. Enough? Alright, and then we'll just bop some glue onto you. Just a little bit around the edges so it's nice and secure. Let's see which... So there's your little... Line up the little joins, and you pop in there. And there's our little radar dish. So we can... Back to our tech shed, we can either have the little control panel up top, or we can bop the little radar dish on. Which I kind of like that, because you can just kind of hot swap them out, or if you want to have them completely separate, we've got a little vent, so we can use whichever of these we want. I'm curious if those being hot swappable are relevant to any of the missions. Like maybe there's a mission where you have to go and use the radar dish, or maybe there's a mission where you have to get up here and like input a code or something. That could be interesting. So those stay separate, and we can just hot swap them out, or if we want to put them separate, we can have them like down on the ground, so a little bit of extra scatter terrain. So like that. That was nice. That was satisfying, simple to build, and it looks pretty good. So let's see. Let's just grab another sprue. What's the next sprue I have kicking around? Let's see. I've got some behind me that are also nice and large. Is the vent horribly placed over as a structural weak point? I mean, it's a shed, so hopefully not. So let's see, what parts are these? This is S. Okay, this is the vent. Speaking of vents, we have the vent building. I think this is also part S, because I pulled this out earlier, didn't I? Yes. So let's build the vent building. SO2, where's S1? S1, that's S3. S4, so S1's probably on this. S6, S7, S1, here it is. Keep. It's a shed. The whole thing is a structural weak point. Also, I observed my father squashed his shed flat with a tree limb. Intentionally. He's epic like that. I mean, it's better than squashing it flat with a tree limb unintentionally. Vent building? Okay, let me think of all my grievances. That's it. This is the... Yeah, it's not for ventilation. This is where you just go to scream. I would very much like a building that I can go into where I'm allowed to just yell and rant. That's going to be tomorrow's painting stream. I'm pretty sure. Because as we were Rage Cage, yeah, as we are all very well aware, the painting streams on Saturdays do have a little bit of a tendency to shift into the little bit ranty pirate modes whilst the painting is going on as we're just hanging out and chatting. And I suspect that tomorrow is going to be extremely prone to that, given a particular event which is happening in the UK tomorrow, which I have lots of opinions about. So I'm sure tomorrow, when I'm not doing a sponsored stream, I'm going to wind up talking about that a lot. Because, surprising literally nobody, I have opinions about things. And because I'm a beardy white man on the internet, I like to share them with everybody. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. But that's okay. That's tomorrow. We don't need to worry about that for right now. We can think about that later on. And today, we will instead just sit here and continue building these buildings from a setting in which a group of plucky rebels overthrow a corrupt empire with absolutely no parallels to anything whatsoever. Today we have Shatterpoint. We do indeed. And I'm having a lot of fun building these, honestly. Because of the nature of the Star Wars aesthetic, these are very kind of boxy buildings. And so they're simple to build, which I really like. Because a lot of the terrain I build is extremely, like, gothic fantasy, very ornate with lots of little fiddly bits. So I do like the fact that these are buildings which are built for function. And importantly, with a skirmish game, you'll be able to perch minis on without them falling off. That's kind of nice when getting onto elevated terrain is a key part of your game mechanics. I don't know what it is, like something about, like, if you were to just show me this and say, like, which property is this from, I think I could probably fairly reasonably guess Star Wars, honestly. Like, I don't know what it is about the very kind of angular, boxy design aesthetic for that they use for the buildings in those movies. It does feel very Star Wars to me. I'm sure a lot of that is, movies being made in the 70s where there was, they had to construct the sets and there was only so much you could really do with that, with the tooling available at the time. But is this considered brutalist? I'm not sure. Like, I know that's an architectural design term, but I couldn't tell you what brutalist means. My knowledge of architectural terms pretty much caps out at knowing the difference between a gargoyle and a grotesque. And that's just because those are cool. Possibly imperialist in the Star Wars context, entirely possible. Although, think about it, the Imperial stuff tends to be a little less boxy. It's more like, when I think of like the big boxy ones, I think of more like the stuff on Tatooine. There we go. So going back to kind of questions and just discussion points. So we've established the way the squads work in this game is you have your main leader, your sub leader, and then your troops. Like, for example, we had Obi-Wan, Cody, and two of the clone troopers, or we had Well, it's escaping me. You say like, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, and a group of Mandalorians. What little groups from anywhere in the Star Wars history would you all like to kind of see as like minis for a game like this? Because they're all. I think the idea is they're going, other than those dual packs, I think they're mostly going to be doing the squad packs. So I've been kind of putting thought into what are some future squad packs that would be fun. Like I know we're getting a squad pack of Ewoks, and that's just cute. Um, like I think a really fun one, if we were to go with like some of the TV stuff, like Book of Boba Fett, you could do a fun one that's like Boba Fett is the leader, and oh god, what's the name of? Oh, I'm blanking the cool assassin from that one that Ming Na Wen plays. You said the Ewoks, I'm sold. Oh, the Jawas would be amazing. Jawas would be amazing. Yes. Fennec Shan, that's the one. Thank you. Love to see. Like, I think she would be like her and Boba Fett would be a fun one. You could have like Din Djarin, Grogu, and some other Mandos. Could be fun, especially if you have. I'm going to try and avoid spoilers for most recent season of Mandalorian in case people haven't seen it, but you know what I'm thinking if you have seen it. Yes, 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 yes. There's so much stuff you can pull from. That's the beautiful thing with a game like this. The same with MCP. Like, there's so much material to pull from. They're not going to run out of things they can release anytime soon. Like I said, I can think of a ton of stuff off the top of my head, and I'm not like I enjoy Star Wars, like I'm a fan of it, but I'm not a super like deep fan like some folks are. Like this is gonna be fun. I'm sure at some point we'll get Kylo Ren and the his group, the name of which I'm escaping right now, the Knights of Ren. That's it. The name that's very very easy to remember because they have Kylo Ren's name in them. Creatively and mainly named Knights of Ren, indeed. See what you do there is you get that squad. You have Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, and then as like a limited edition variant sculpt, you have Ben Swolo, which was my absolute favorite meme to come out of those movies. Those in there. All right, we'll hold that in place. And okay, next. Oh, good. We put the roof on next. That's going to help all of that stay in place. So refused to call him anything but Ben Swolo for ages. It's such a good name. It's such a good one. I love it. It makes me happy. Stay there. And what I'm hoping eventually, and this is just pure like theory crafting and stuff I would like to see as a mini at some point from coming out from me that would work real well in the skirmish game. Thinking of, like with MCP, they've released big scale minis like the Sentinels, for example. I would love to see. You'd have to kind of rework it because it would probably be the only. You'd probably have to take it as the only thing on your side. But imagine like arranging your team and your opponent just slaps down a Rancor on the table, which is primarily just me thinking like I would love to paint a Rancor in this scale. I'll put this on backwards. Oh, I see. So, have I done this wrong? No, I think I'm right. I just didn't quite have the angle. I see how it's supposed to work. I see. I see. I see how this works. It's all fine. I'm just, I had a slightly off angle with this set down here, which is why I'm glad I'm putting the roof on at this point, as I can fix that and get some structural stability going. Oh, really any of the large scale monsters would be really fun. Like especially as terrain. Like have terrain of a Jawa sandcrawler. Which would be really fun, just the big boxy things. Honestly, I would love to paint Jawas for this purely because then I will absolutely paint my best friend's name onto the bottom of one of them because she is 4'11" and has always wanted to cosplay a Jawa just so that she can run around and yell Utini at people and steal all their stuff and have it just be perfectly in character. But that's because my best friend is an absolute fucking gremlin. And that's why she's been my best friend for so long. Is you have to be a gremlin to put up with me for over a decade. Not that, anyone in chat is an absolute gremlin. None of you are like that. None whatsoever. All right, which way does... Okay, oh, we're building like a little extra, like, secondary bit on top. I see. Still remember when I recognized the guy from Posh Nosh. I don't think I know Posh Nosh. I don't think I know that. Us Gremlins? No. One of my favorite episodes from the most recent season of Mandalorian was seeing Lizzo and Jack Black in it. They had so much fun during that. Like that episode was one of my favorite little like low stakes. I would say low stakes. Like it had strong plot implications toward the end, but very kind of. It was a bit of a breather episode, despite the actual plot ramifications. And I love just the episode of cameos with Jack Black, Lizzo, and Christopher Lloyd all in it, and all of them clearly just having the best time doing it. Made me very happy. All right, so so this is going to go off down the side. I see. Oh, this is going to be kind of an interesting design. I like this. It's going to go onto the roof, and then they're so excited. I know, right? Like you could tell. It's a British satirical gourmet cooking show. David Tennant makes an appearance. Interesting. I shall have to look into that. I have not heard of it. And S2, which looking at the angle on this is, I think, this part. Yeah, okay, I see how that works, yes. This big old panel. This is going to be a big, beefy bit of terrain, this one. People hated that episode for no reason. Hey, Code the Goldjam, welcome in. Good to see you. I think people probably hated that. Oh, wait, you're talking about... Yeah. No, people hated it because they hate to see people having fun. Because, look, I'm sorry. Star Wars is not grimdark. And that was a really fun episode. I don't care. If people can like it or not, people can like or not like stuff. That's their prerogative. But when you start to start whining about other people, so I think you accidentally included the word "some" in that sentence. I don't think that needs to be there. That episode was exactly the vibe. Yes. Fandoms ruin everything. Fandoms are the worst. That's why I avoid them. But that is in my mind is the fastest way to lose love for something is start interacting with people online about it for the most part. I'm very, very careful about the people I choose to. Trying to be nice, but you're right. Yep, no, there's no. Um, it's yeah. People just get it's the weird sense of entitlement that people and ownership that people feel over an entertainment property. Like I get that you like the thing and that's cool and it means a lot to you and that's okay, but don't be a dick about it. Like you didn't make it. It's not. This is not yours. This does not belong to you. Just don't be mean. But you know, people. Okay, there we go. That one goes there, and this one. I'm trying to figure. Oh, this is the. Oh, I was like, I totally forgot. I was like, trying to figure out how this goes on, and I forgot I hadn't put the other half of this on yet. What? Fans making a thing their whole personality? Sounds fake. Yep, couldn't possibly be a thing that happens. Oop, I put the glue on the wrong bit. That's fine. So it's gonna dab glue all over you. Growing reluctant to engage with randos in the wild about TTRPGs. Sensible. I certainly don't. Because let's all sing it together. There's no such thing as TTRPG community. It does not exist. The fact that you happen to like the same hobby does not mean you are inherently bonded in any way. Especially when it's something as large and all-encompassing as a major media property, or, you know, tabletop games, which is a massive and all-encompassing thing. Like, you are not... No, that's not a thing. Friends kind of make me happy as to come out of the bubble. See, that's the thing is, if you have your own little bubble of things to be excited about, that's great. I'm not saying people shouldn't be excited about things. I get excited about tons of stuff. Like, as anyone who has shown up for any of my like Final Fantasy 14 streams can attest, or you know, poor Val, who has historically had to endure my flailing when Final Fantasy 4 stuff started showing up in Final Fantasy 14, and poor Val just got so much of my just brain flailing over that. Like, Val puts up with a lot of nonsense from me. This is why I simply check notes, peer pressure my friends and family to consume the media I like. This is true. I mean, there's also that aspect too of like, you know, just convincing people you already like to like the things you like. This is a good time at which, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, I should point out that with its now completion, all 3 seasons of The Owl House are available to watch, and everyone should watch it because The Owl House is one of the greatest pieces of media ever created. And I'm not even being ironic about that. The Owl House is phenomenal, and everybody needs to watch it. It's so good. All right, let's get this over here. All right. So I'm trying to figure out which parts I need to glue currently, because not everything has the other part attached yet. There we go. If not for Pirate, do it for me. Indeed. If not for Pirate or Steven, I don't know how I convince you, just do it. Everyone should do it. Everyone should do it. It's like gold tier for representation, if nothing else. But also features another one of the greatest fictional characters ever created, Hoot Hoot. So we're just going to hold this in place while that sets. This is a big chunky building. I like this. Like I said, lots of flat areas that'll be very easy to set a character on. In fact, I think the base sizes look like they were a little larger, but because I have her over here, because I just finished sealing her and I need to put a magnet on the base, we'll pull out, because I have Captain Marvel sitting right here. Like, plenty of space to easily slap your minis on top and not have to worry about them falling off. It's great. I love that. Now, here's the part I need to figure out. Okay. Because now the instructions want me to put the back on this part. And I was a little concerned because I wanted to figure out, okay, if I put the back on this, am I going to need to paint the inside? And the answer is no, there's no detail on the inside. So that is not, I'm sure this little window on the front here is going to get covered up. So let's get this put together. Mini paint is done. Now to see if I mess it up with my first attempt at dry brushing. The nice part is if you mess it up, you can always just strip it and try again. If you want just a tip when it comes to dry brushing, which has been my most common mistake made with it, if you're worried that there isn't enough paint on the brush, you're probably wrong. Give it time to build up, because frequently what I will do with my lack of patience is load the brush up with too much paint and not brush it off properly, and wind up just dumping a load of paint back onto the mini again, so it doesn't get the effect. Give it time and be patient with it, because that's my common mistake. What I found really helps is just dry brushing over like my thumb to make sure that the texture on my skin is picking up even just the tiniest bit. It's always better with anything. And the same thing applies with anything with mini painting. Like if there's one piece of advice I would give universally for mini painting in general, it's that it is always better to do multiple thin coats of a thing than overgo and do something too thick that you then have to strip and redo, because you can always throw another thin layer on. It's way harder. Like once the paint is on thick and it's obscuring detail at that point, like you kind of have to go back and redo the whole thing at that point. So always lean towards doing multiple coats rather than over saturating. Paint thin and crispy. Yes, paint thin and crispy. That's your that's another future limited edition one of your sets is of the dual set is Obi-Wan and Anakin, and you have special crispy edition Anakin after falling into the lava. They can call that one the high ground duel. You know. Those there. Oh, and these little peggy bits are going to go in. So let's, pop that a little bit of glue on there. Second only to carbonite heart. Yes. I remember somebody describing dry brushing as thinking like you want to dust it, not paint it. That is a very good analogy. Yes. And sometimes to be fair, sometimes you do want to go in with like a heavy dry brush, but that's more for things like terrain where you want to just or that's very heavily textured. Like there's certain situations in which you do want to be very heavy with it, but usually not when you're working on a mini. Feel free to underestimate Crispy Anakin's power. Spicy Anakin. Right, there we go. Ooh, and I said, look at how this is chunky. I like this. This feels hefty. Like I like that. Like I wouldn't worry too much about carrying this around. Like if I, in a world in which I have more friends who live nearby, I wouldn't really be too worried about, tossing this in a bag and taking it over to somebody's house to bring over and play around with this. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Anakin tried too hard to smolder. That's it. He smoldered too close to the sun. That's it. All right. So that's on. So that's 4. So now we put the vent on the back. Okay. Let's build the vent. All right. And, I just hit that realization that, I said I was going to have this one be a slightly shorter stream, but the problem that I've gotten into is I'm actually really having a good time doing this. And so even if I were to stop stream, I would probably just be doing more of this. So we're just going to keep going because I'm having a really good time with this. So, Anakin uses smolder. It's super effective. Oh no, Anakin was burned. Yeah, I think once I've finished with this one, I think I will take a quick break to just get some fresh water and everything. But keep going. So that's for all of us. Yes, everyone stretch. Get your stretchies in. The thing about too, there's going to be more as more stuff comes out. Because I don't know if you all saw that big roadmap that they published of stuff that's coming out for Star Wars over the next few years. But you could potentially have adult Ahsoka as a squad from the new series that's coming out, which I'm now very, very excited for. There's a heavy AC stretches. ACs are massively heavy. Yes, that's why I have mine on wheels and don't have a window unit. That's actually not. I don't have a window unit because I live in a ground floor apartment on a very busy street in New York. And so if I had a window unit, you would be able to hear literally everybody outside going past. And trust me, based on some of the conversations I've ever heard out there, you don't want to hear that. I would get my stream cancelled in a heartbeat. Okay, let's see. We've got to line up the little bibbly bot bits. There we go. You around there and there. And go, and wee all around the edge. And here we go. Right. I did have a brief moment with this one of, do I want to leave this off? But it's like, now I'll just have to be careful and use some interesting angles to make sure I get all of the primer in there. That's it is fine. I don't like to overthink terrain. In fact, I like to keep terrain relatively simple because what I've seen some people do is spend so much time making sure that like all of their terrain is like beautifully painted and has all of these intricate and really complicated details on it, which is fine and all well and good. But the problem with that is it then distracts from the minis. And it's my philosophy is that the terrain should be a backdrop that showcases the mini. It shouldn't overpower the minis. And so that's kind of why I really like this sort of very boxy. There's detail on it, but not an excessive amount to where it's too busy. So I think that's really nice. I think I like the general designs that they got going here. All right, so let's pop you in there. Boop. All right, and the vent has gone onto the building. We have our vent building almost done. We just need to, I think, yeah, we've got some little extra detail bits for the other side, and that's going to be vent panels. Okay, now these I am going to leave off, and I'll show you why for in just a moment. I feel like you need a whole lot of room for this game. Well, see, that's the nice part. That's actually the nice part about it, is this looks like a lot, and it is going to be a lot, but because of the way the game is built, the way the game is designed, verticality is key. So you might think, oh, this is going to stretch out over like a massive, like you need an entire dining room table or something. The actual footprint of it isn't as large as you might be concerned about. It's still like, it's not insignificant, but because a lot of it builds upwards, like that helps with the amount of space you need for it, I think. All right. It's the AT-AT terrain part. That would be fun. Like a ruined AT-AT walker. That would be really fun. What I want to do is I want to build a like a backdrop. Actually, I want to do something very similar to fit your gaming coffee table. It wouldn't fit onto your coffee table. I think your coffee table's a bit too narrow, but your dining table easily. Okay, so let me show you what I was talking about. So we've got the little vent covers going on here. These I am going to not, I'm going to like slot them in, but I'm not going to glue them in And the reason is, see, we've got this textured, like, vent stuff behind. And because these do have the slats in, you will be able to see that through. So those I am going to leave off. What I'm going to do is drop it on the floor. Excuse me. What I'm going to do is blue tack. Stick just a wee bit of blue tack on that. That's going to get wedged in there. That way it'll stay in place for storage until we can get an idea of the finished effect, but I'll be able to remove it and spray it later. And that'll probably be one of the first things I do when I paint this, is just slap on some paint for the filter beneath it, and then glue this back into place and be done with it. Yeah, I do. And honestly, for like 6 foot rule, if you look at that on the tabletop, nobody's really going to pay attention and notice it. That I'm just doing for myself, because I'll know it's there and it'll bother me, and also because I'm planning on using this to try and do some fancy mini photography. I don't want to accidentally wind up, knowing my luck, I will photograph at a specific angle where words escaping, where that, like, you can really easily see that. Although I was listening to a sometimes when I'm painting, if none of my friends are streaming, I will occasionally, or when I'm out walking, Kiros, I'll listen to some of like some mini painters who do like chat show YouTube type stuff. One of which is the Painting Phase, and they recently had the Warhammer Girl on, and so one of the hosts used to work for Games Workshop and said some stuff that made me feel much better. Specifically that, like, the Warhammer Girl had just submitted a model that got showcased with Warhammer Community, and she realized once it was up and showcased and published that there's a part of the mini you can see that she just forgot to paint. And the host, I say, who used to work for GW, responded by letting her know that it was not necessarily an infrequent occurrence that for the heavy metal team, who do all of Games Workshop's big, like, the box art and are generally regarded to be some of the best painters in the world, would sometimes also just miss parts, and they wouldn't realize until they went to photograph the mini, so they would have to like Photoshop the color in for this one part that they had undercoated and just forgot to go back and paint. So that was very kind of like, okay, good, they do that too, because I've absolutely done that, where I see a part on the mini, it's like, I'll just come back to that because that's a color I don't have out right now. I'll come back and I'll fix that later, and I never go back and fix it because I forget, because I get incredibly easily distracted. It's like, okay, good, they do that too. That genuinely makes me feel a little better. It's like the people who do this for a living and are generally some of the best in the world have absolutely turned in work where it's like, no, you forgot to paint that shoulder pad. Like, that's, you got tunnel vision and you forgot to go back and do it. So that makes me feel good. I like that. Like, good. No matter how pro you are, you still make mistakes in absolutely everything. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is flawless. What you see is the end result. And this is true for literally everything that goes out on the internet or on TV or movies or anything. Like, you see a very polished end result, and that's what people want to put out there. You do not see the stuff that they screwed up and had to repeat over and over and over again. Which is the risk of doing this type of stuff on Twitch, is you all do get to see me screwing up and repeating stuff over and over and over again. And I kind of like that, because that's my whole vibe, is I want to be encouraging and to, like, nah, this is nothing special. I promise you I'm nothing special. Like, if anything I can do, literally any of you are capable of doing, I promise. It's just a case of practice. It's just a case of practice and knowing the tips and like tricks and shortcuts, and screwing up enough times that you know how to fix it. Which Lord knows I've done many a time. There we go. That's on there. one sticking out just a wee bit. So again, this is where I really like the Tamiya. I could just run that into this seam because it wasn't quite angled right. So just run that into that seam. You can kind of see where it's shining a little bit on the camera. I can just hold that in place for just a moment. Take a minute to let that set. Because with something of this size, pressure is going to pull that away a bit. So I do have to hold it for a little longer, just until I'm sure it's going to have enough strength to keep it in position. I think that might be long enough. That's good enough. Then we just do the same on the other side. Mr. Doid work on a secret project. Oh ho ho! I do like secret projects. I hope yours is a fun one, Tuck. Best of luck to you. We're doing it actually. I say I was going to finish this though, and then take a break and do more. I've actually changed my mind. I am going to wrap the stream, I think, once I finish this. I may bust out some of those rocks and I'll do those next, but we're not going to go much longer because I did just hit that realization of, oh, right, I should probably eat. Food is a thing that should happen at some point because I kind of haven't done that. Because I went into this with the expectation, like, oh, I'll just do this for a couple hours and be done. Like, oh, right, I need to actually food. Yes, yes, food. I had the exact same realization. Good, but that's not just me. What I will do, though, before we do that, there is one aspect of this I did want to show off before I do this. So let me bust out. I think they're in this one. So we'll probably do more of this tomorrow at this point. But are these the ones I wanted? The little gantryways. Yeah. This round. These are the ones I want. These are the ones I wanted. So I just want to show off how the terrain build works. Right quick. Pop, 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 pop. So we'll pop off these little walkways. I'm just going to trim one out real quick. I'm going to worry about too closely getting it filed down. I can worry about that later. I just want the quick demonstration. All right. So if we now, let's make sure the glue is sealed, pop these over here. So you might note the edge has these very visible like ridges running along the side. That is for a reason, and the reason is these little gantryway planks. So what we can do with this, again, don't cut towards yourself, do as I say, not as I do, is we pop that in there, and that one there. Shit, did I do that the wrong way around? I think I did that the wrong way around, maybe. Going that way. There we go. I hit upside down. So you can pop those there like that. And now that's nice and secured together. So when the game is going, you just pop the mini on there. And so you got walkways between the upper levels of the buildings. They had that all set up when I was checking it out, actually. I want to check out one more thing. I don't know if this is how these actually work. So this is just me experimenting now. But now that I've seen how those edges work. So fade to black, we just cut away. Yes, exactly. I wonder if do these go on? Do they like connect together? Okay, no. Because I was wondering if you can like put two of them together to extend. But then as I was thinking about that, I realized, oh, that's probably not how those work, because if you don't have an extra thing there to connect between them, it's not going to be very stable. So that makes sense. I do wonder, I have to look through some of the builds later, because I do see these, like there's this lip on one side that isn't on the other. So I'm wondering if that's like to make like double ones that you can put together like that for a longer one, or could you potentially like slot them in as a wall in some situations? Which I suspect, actually looking at that, I might be right about that. This one, because I did just note, as I went to experiment with that, this does happen to be, maybe this way on this. These are the exact same length as the end walls, and that does not strike me as a coincidence. So I'm wondering if there's like a thing that could, where you'll use these maybe as makeshift walls or like a folded up gangplank. I'm gonna have to play with that. I want to take a look through and see. Anyway, connect that back together for a minute. So yeah, buildings. Like I said, I'm going to do more of this. I don't know yet what my plan for tomorrow's painting stream is. I may do more of this. I may do more work on some of my Dark Angels. I haven't decided yet. It'll probably be whatever the mood strikes me when I start stream. But we are going to be doing fundraising, so I'll be back, back tomorrow at the usual time, 3 p.m. Eastern, as part of your Team Cypher Saturday, which, if you weren't aware, by the way, is a little reduced this week because Urban Bohemian is taking a well-deserved weekend off. So we will be kicking off your Team Cypher Saturday with Stephen, and then, of course, the usual Val, myself. There won't be a Panda because it's Panda's kid's birthday, so I will have to figure out and plan somebody to raid after that. But we'll figure it all out. Or maybe I'll just get in the painting group and keep going myself. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, you don't worry. There's at least the 3 of us who are here to maintain. Oh, you will be on after. Cool. Well, we'll raid. There you go. That's how we'll continue Team Cypher Saturday into Cypher. So, Stephen goes live at 10 a.m. Eastern, Mac. So there you go. That's the plan. We'll Team Cypher Saturday, including Cypher. That's appropriate. That works. More Breath of the Wild. Get out that damn Divine Beast. Makes sense. So many people. I love watching so many people play Breath of the Wild. It's been great. I never did finish it. All right. So let me pop this. I do. Speaking of raiding and friends and wonderfulness, I do want to. Let me just move my paint stuff over here so I can get to my desk. Let me see who I can raid myself. Bop, bop, bop. Mute Twitch. Who do we have on? Who could benefit? I think we shall raid. Ooh. Oh, because of scheduling shifts? It's been a very long time since I've gotten to raid Mermaid Serenade, who is a wonderful physical media artist. So we're going to go hang out with Mermaid Serenade, who is doing and thinking about it. Also because Mermaid Serenade, I do feel it feels appropriate because Mermaid Serenade is also Hispanic, and so raiding her on Cinco de Mayo feels important and relevant to do. So we'll do that. And yes, so let me get that queued up, and then I'll babble momentarily. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for being here for this stream. Thank you very much for supporting. Like it does mean a lot. This type of content is not stuff I do over much, so I really appreciate Atomic Mass Games for the opportunity with this. We're going to keep doing more stuff, and like I said, keep an eye on the socials and the Discord for more information about more sponsored streams that I'll be doing with them that we have plans for in future. And as Sahana had linked it in there, if you have not already, do please go check out the link. Not just because it helps me, but because I genuinely do think this is a really cool product. And if you're into Star Wars or just cool space stuff in general, I think you might find it appealing. I said, go check out like the completed paints of the minis. They look amazing. So, and we'll be doing more of that over here at some point in future. There's all the stuff. I will also again be back on Sunday in a rare Sunday stream for me because I'm doing extra streams this month because of the St. Jude fundraising. We are going to be playing Cities Skylines on Sundays with crowd control enabled because we hit the first milestone to unlock that. So you will be able to. I've got it hooked up through the Tiltify, so you will be able to donate to cause chaos for me in that game. So that'll be interesting. Which I've never played before. So we're going to be in for a fun time. So we'll be doing all that all weekend. So that'll be fun. And then back, of course, on Monday for more Final Fantasy. So take care. I will see hopefully you tomorrow. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for being here. Captain's off deck. Have a good one. Good night.